I don't think there was any way that any of us could vision how this was going to spread, how this was going to just take off in all directions. It's not just United States, it's worldwide.
In 1972, I gave birth to Christopher. He was 4 pounds, 7 ounces. The nurse brought him to me and said, "Don't get attached, he won't live." And I said, "Yes, he will." I knew he would never grow up. I knew that just by holding him, looking at him. So I made every day count. Chris was my little buddy. He really was. We were planning on coming back to Phoenix for a visit, and along in mid-Texas, I noticed Chris he wasn't himself. Something is just not right. We took him right in. The doctor, he did a little pinprick on Chris and came back a short time later and said he has leukemia. The poor doctor just looked at me and looked at my brother and my mother and wrote down an address, St. Joseph's Hospital, and said, "Go there, they are waiting for you." Community college class, I'd met a lady by the name of Kay Austin. Her husband happened to be a U.S. Customs agent, which I didn't know. And she says, "You know what, come on over to my house, we'll study together. Maybe I can help."
As we got into our studying, the front door opened and there was Tommy. And Chris jumped up with more energy than he had had the whole time he had been there.
Turned over and he said, "Freeze." I'm a police officer, so I froze. He got off the couch and he carefully searched my front pockets, and he was satisfied I was clean. He holstered his weapon. He stuck out his hand and he said, "Hi, I'm Chris." And from that moment on, we were buds. We were best friends. We were pals.
We absolutely loved having them be a part of our family. And Tommy began to talk to Lynn at that time about doing something special for Chris.
Ron Cox and Mike Stevens from DPS and I were together.
Tommy started telling all of us the story about Chris. So there was a lot of tears shed that night, and Tommy said that, well, some of you guys, many of you offered to help out when the time comes. I said, "You bet, I will."
In mid-April, Chris had gone out of remission, and it was coming very close to the end. And I made a phone call, but to Tom Austin. And I said, "Tom, if there's any way possible to make that promise come true, now is the time."
I called Chris on Friday, and hello, very weak Joyce, very weak. Said, "Chris, how would you like to have a ride on a real police helicopter Monday morning?" Instantaneous, that voice changed. "Oh, Tom, you're joking, you're joking." 6 o'clock Monday morning, the phone rang. "Hello?" "Hi, Tom, this is Chris. You hadn't forgotten, have you?" I said, "No, I hadn't forgotten." Well, I went over there about 20 minutes till 8, and he was already out in the driveway. And I wish you could have seen the look on his face when I drove up. He knew it was real. A smile from ear to ear.
He was given a ride in a real Ranger helicopter. They landed at the Department of Public Safety. From there, we went over to Colonel Schaefer's office.
We stood him up on my desk, and I swore him in, handed him that certificate, and pinned a badge on his coat.
I mean, to him, with that badge, hat, everything, he was a policeman. He really was. On May 2nd, he said, "Mommy, I'm not feeling real good." On May 3rd, he passed away, just that quick. There was a unity born with these officers and what they did.
I love the idea of it, and I love what it brought those families